Lights, camera, and action. While we adored these stars on the silver screen, their off-screen lives were entangled in a web of chaos. Whether fueled by habit, a quest for thrill, or the crushing weight of despair, these actors and actresses found solace in the bottle. What began as a seemingly harmless pastime unfolded into a labyrinth of disastrous health problems, fractured relationships, and tragically, premature deaths. This is Hollywood's heartbreaking dance with the bottle. Let's get started. Number 30, Judy Garland. Judy Garland, a legendary American actress and singer, faced significant struggles with alcohol and substance abuse throughout her life. Born Frances Ethel Gum on June 10, 1922, Garland achieved fame for her role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in 1939 and went on to have a successful career in entertainment. American cinema experienced an explosion of popularity during Garland's time, with stars and starlets capturing the hearts of the public. One of the most iconic and beloved figures was Judy Garland. Even today, fans of all ages adore her for her childlike demeanor and stunning singing voice. In 2019, moviegoers continue to cherish her memorable role as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz, considered one of the greatest films of all time. However, Garland's real-life journey did not follow a shining yellow brick road. Instead, she faced numerous dark forests on her path to fame, ultimately leading to her tragic death. Let's delve into Judy Garland's severe struggle with addiction to drugs. Living the life of a Hollywood icon, especially at a young age, is far from easy. During the filming of Babes in Arms and Love Finds Andy Hardy, Garland turned to pep pills to cope with her demanding work. Like many child stars of her time, she was also provided sleeping pills to conserve energy. As she filmed The Wizard of Oz, Garland's drug consumption escalated, including amphetamines and barbiturates, helping her maintain a slender physique and stay energized. Despite becoming a Hollywood icon, she developed a severe dependency. While Garland managed to secure some acting roles after her masterful performance as Dorothy, her tardiness and erratic behavior, stemming from addiction, resulted in her displacement from Hollywood. In a blink, an icon slipped from her pedestal to the hard floor of reality, marking one of the most tragic cases of drug addiction since Marilyn Monroe. On June 22, 1969, Judy Garland succumbed to a barbiturate overdose at the age of 47. Her story is undeniably sorrowful, and we can only hope she has found solace somewhere over the rainbow. Number 29, Bette Davis. Known for her iconic roles in a career that spanned decades, found herself entangled in postmortem drama even after the death of her notorious Whatever Happened to Baby Jane co-star Joan Crawford. Anecdotes from Davis's later years, as recounted by her one-time assistant in the book Miss D and Me, unveil untold tales from the Oscar-winning actress's freewheeling final chapters. The book delves into the evolving bond between the formidable actress and a young Catherine Cermak, set against a backdrop of continual tension. In 1985, Davis faced a particularly challenging episode when her beloved daughter, Barbara Hyman, also known as Betty, published a book filled with venomous accusations titled My Mother's Keeper. The timing on Mother's Day added a bitter twist. At 77, Davis was already fragile, having survived a stroke, and her doctors feared that the book's cruelty might hasten her demise. Hyman's account painted Davis as an alcoholic specializing in emotional abuse, even alleging staged fake suicides to traumatize her children. The cruelty didn't stop with her own offspring. It extended to the next generation, with reports of Davis supposedly mistreating her grandchildren. Number 28, Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, often hailed as the greatest male American actor in cinema history, left an indelible mark with Oscar-worthy performances in timeless classics such as Casablanca, The Maltese Falcon, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and The African Queen. However, beyond the silver screen, Bogey had a notorious reputation as a heavy drinker. Known for his charming demeanor, Bogart's personality underwent a drastic transformation after 11:30 p.m. As one friend remarked, after that, he thinks he's Bogart. His bouts of anger, stubbornness, and occasional abuse fueled by alcohol began to affect his illustrious career. On the set, he exhibited erratic behavior, showing up in pajamas, refusing to work, and navigating the Warner Brothers studio on a bicycle. Even during the filming of Sahara, Bogart demanded his wife, Mayo Method, bring him a thermos of martinis before leaving his dressing room. Off the set, his drinking escapades included leaving a restaurant with their safe and assaulting women trying to take a toy panda, his drinking companion, from an exclusive club. Despite sharing drinks with Richard Burton and Frank Sinatra, Bogart found himself banned from numerous establishments. His love for drinking and smoking took a toll on his health, leading to a cancer diagnosis in 1956. In his final days, he humorously claimed that he had been on the wagon only once, considering it the most miserable afternoon of his life. Number 27. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, the epitome of masculinity and swashbuckling charm on screen, led a life off-screen that matched the audacity of his film roles. Celebrated for his portrayals of heroes like Robin Hood and Captain Blood, Flynn's personal life was marked by debauchery, womanizing, brawling, and a love for alcohol. As a companion of Fidel Castro, Flynn's penchant for alcohol was well documented. His Malibu bachelor pad, shared with David Niven, earned the nickname Cirrhosis by the Sea due to the copious amounts of alcohol consumed. Hosting wild parties on his private boat filled with sex, alcohol, and cocaine, Flynn's excessive lifestyle extended to the film set, where he once drunkenly bet the crew $500 that he could seduce his co-star Olivia de Havilland. Flynn's indulgent habits led to a collapse in his early 30s, with a doctor warning of damage to his heart and lungs. He nevertheless continued in his overindulgence, and he died at the age of 50 of a heart attack, his body bloated, overweight, and stricken with cirrhosis. Number 26. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, the internationally acclaimed actress, faced a lifelong battle with alcoholism and painkiller addiction. Throughout her career, Taylor struggled with alcohol abuse, a habit that often spilled onto film sets, notably during the shooting of some of her later movies. In a revealing 1983 diary entry, her ex-husband Richard Burton, co-starring with Taylor in a stage play, noted her constant inebriation, stating she was impossibly sloshed all day long, hindering her ability to read lines. In a September magazine article, Taylor, acknowledging her alcoholism, attributed her excessive drinking to being terribly shy. She candidly admitted to being an alcoholic and pledged to quit drinking. In an interview with Helen Gurley Brown, Taylor disclosed that she might have succumbed to pills and alcohol if not for treatment. She had initially admitted her drug addiction at recovery meetings, but later acknowledged her struggle with alcoholism during a hospitalization for colitis. During this hospital stay, Taylor openly discussed mixing Jack Daniels with medication, highlighting the lack of intervention. Eventually, persuaded by family and friends, she sought help at the Betty Ford Clinic. After 2 weeks, she finally acknowledged her alcoholism. Taylor's journey serves as a testament to the challenges of overcoming addiction, even for someone in the spotlight. Number 25. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi, renowned for his iconic portrayal of Count Dracula in the 1931 film Dracula, faced personal and professional struggles, including issues with substance abuse, particularly alcohol. Despite the success of Dracula, Lugosi found himself typecast in horror roles, leading to financial difficulties and a decline in his career. As Lugosi took on roles in low-budget horror films, his battles with addiction, including alcoholism, intensified. These challenges, coupled with typecasting and financial woes, took a toll on his overall well-being. Lugosi's personal struggles contributed to a decline in both his health and professional opportunities. Despite his difficulties, Lugosi continued working in the film industry and garnered a cult following for his portrayal of Dracula. However, on August 16, 1956, Lugosi passed away at the age of 73, officially from a heart attack. His struggles with substance abuse likely played a role in his declining health. Number 24. Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake, the captivating screen siren of the 1940s, made an indelible mark on Hollywood before deciding to leave it all behind. In her recently published memoir, Veronica, the autobiography of Veronica Lake, she revealed that she felt Hollywood was not her true calling and expressed her resistance to the constraints of being a picture star. Despite her success, Lake struggled with the expectations placed on her, particularly the femme fatale image perpetuated in films. Eddie Muller, Turner Classic Movie TCM host, explained that Lake, pushed towards show business against her will by her aggressive stage mother, grew tired of conforming to the industry's expectations. As a form of rebellion, she turned to alcohol as a coping mechanism, a pattern reminiscent of the era's male stars like Humphrey Bogart. In 1952, Veronica Lake made a decisive choice to break away from Hollywood, declaring, "The hell with you, Hollywood," and she never returned. By 1962, she was working as a cocktail waitress in New York City, finding peace away from the pressures of success. Unfortunately, her struggles continued, compounded by her battle with schizophrenia, which was discovered in childhood. Despite her early success in films like This Gun for Hire and Sullivan's Travels, Lake's career faded, and she passed away in 1973 at the age of 50, penniless from hepatitis, with few friends or relatives by her side. Number 23. John Barrymore. John Barrymore, a classical actor from the esteemed Barrymore family, was hailed as one of the greatest actors of his generation. Known for playing sympathetic alcoholic characters on screen, Barrymore's life mirrored the roles he portrayed. Despite his acclaim for Shakespearean performances, Mr. Hyde and Sherlock Holmes, his tragic youth and challenging later years exasperated his struggle with alcohol. Barrymore's descent into alcoholism reached a point where he attempted to drink his wife's cologne. While he initially continued to succeed in films like Dinner at 8 in 1933, where he played an alcoholic actor, his career suffered as his drinking intensified. By 1936, he relied on cue cards due to the impact of liquor on his memory. Roles chronicling a life of drinking and debauchery became eerily reflective of his own struggles. In 1942, at the age of 60, Barrymore succumbed to cirrhosis, kidney disease, and chronic edema, marking the tragic end of a once great career overshadowed by the relentless grip of alcohol. Number 22. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge, a trailblazing African-American actress and singer, left an indelible mark on Hollywood despite facing formidable challenges. In 1954, she made history as the first African-American to be nominated for a Best Actress Oscar for her role in Carmen Jones. Although she lost the award to Grace Kelly, her achievements paved the way for future generations of black actresses. Dandridge's life, though marked by highs such as the groundbreaking Oscar nomination and being the first black woman on the cover of Life magazine, was also marred by profound lows. Her marriage to a fellow performer ended in turmoil, exacerbated by infidelity. Tragically, her daughter, born with brain damage, was institutionalized, adding to the personal challenges she faced. Struggling with the racial limitations of her time, which hindered opportunities for black actresses to portray dignified and fully developed characters, Dandridge turned to antidepressants and alcohol to cope with the stress of personal and professional setbacks. Despite her early success with Carmen Jones, subsequent roles failed to reach the same level, and financial mismanagement by her second husband left her in dire straits. Dorothy Dandridge succumbed to the pressures of her tumultuous life, resorting to heavy drinking and antidepressant use. She passed away at the young age of 42, and the circumstances surrounding her death, whether accidental or intentional, remain unknown. Number 21. W.C. Fields. W.C. Fields, the iconic comedic actor of the early 20th century, found fame not only for his acting prowess, but also for his persona as the irascible misanthropic drunk. His career soared after starring in International House in 1933, solidifying his reputation as a comedic genius. Fields became a brand unto himself, reshaping public perceptions of drinking through his unique blend of tragedy turned comedy. Fields, known for his love of martinis and various other spirits, embraced his alcoholism as part of his persona. He consumed about 2 quarts of liquor a day, often bringing a cocktail shaker filled with gin to the set, humorously referring to it as his pineapple juice. Despite his fondness for drink, Fields remained an amiable drunk, and his staff attested to his ability to wear his alcoholism like his trademark askew top hat. Remarkably, Fields' drinking did not impair his acting. In fact, it was believed to enhance his comedic timing. His influence on reshaping the portrayal of alcohol in American culture persisted through the 20th century, solidifying his legacy as a comedic trailblazer. Number 20. Rita Hayworth. Born Margarita Carmen Dolores Cancino in 1918, Rita Hayworth's life was shaped more by a demanding training regimen than a typical childhood. Raised by her Spanish-born flamenco dancer father Eduardo Cancino, she recalled a girlhood filled with relentless rehearsals. Despite making 61 films over 37 years, her career success came at a cost. Hayworth struggled with heavy drinking from the 1950s onward. Makeup artist Robert Schiffer revealed that she turned to alcohol to overcome nerves and sought refuge from the torments in her life, particularly her troubled relationship with her father. In 1976, an incident at Heathrow Airport drew attention to her disheveled appearance and distressed demeanor, attributed to excessive drinking. Unbeknownst to the public at the time, Hayworth was battling advanced Alzheimer's, formally diagnosed in 1980. Her daughter, Yasmin, became her legal guardian and provided care in their Manhattan apartment, shedding light on the underlying health issues that contributed to her struggles. Number 19. Spencer Tracy. While Spencer Tracy was celebrated as an actor with few peers, his personal life was marked by a myriad of problems. Tracy, adored by cinemagoers, harbored a dark side characterized by violent alcoholism and rampant womanizing. Known for his destructive behavior during alcohol-fueled benders, he had a reputation for demolishing hotel rooms. Tracy's career began at Fox in 1930, but he faced challenges establishing himself among the top performers. His turbulent personal life included struggles with insomnia, depression, a hair-trigger temper, and an obsession with death. Tracy's penchant for womanizing extended to seducing starlets at a rapid pace, showcasing his charm despite his personal demons. In 1933, Tracy embarked on a tempestuous affair with Loretta Young during the filming of Man's Castle. The affair ended after 2 years when Young's priest refused her absolution for dating a married Catholic man. Number 18. Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, renowned American actor and filmmaker, earned the moniker Hollywood's original Hellraiser for his wild reputation during the 1960s and 70s. A key figure in the counterculture movement, Hopper symbolized resistance against conformity and mindless obedience. His contribution extended to directing, notably with Easy Rider. Hopper's appetite for drugs and alcohol was legendary. During the height of his alcoholism, he admitted to consuming an astonishing daily intake of 28 beers, half a gallon of rum, and 3 grams of cocaine. In an interview, he nonchalantly remarked, "It's not as hard as it sounds. If you mix the rum like I used to, then you can drink it all day long. No problem." Number 17. Dean Martin. A prominent member of the legendary Rat Pack, Dean Martin, with his dark good looks, mellifluous voice, and hilarious one-liners, embodied the epitome of a good time. The Rat Pack, featuring Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop, was known for its members' charismatic and entertaining lifestyle. Dean Martin, often seen with a rocks glass in his hand, presented himself as a walking, talking, singing advertisement for getting soused. During the 50s and 60s, he became a one-man cocktail party, inviting America to join in the fun. While rumors circulated about his onstage drinks being apple juice, the perception of him as a lovable booze hound prevailed. Born Dino Crocetti in 1917, Martin's career took off in the mid-40s as the straight man for Jerry Lewis. Post their split in 1956, Dean evolved into America's most beloved advocate for drinking and drunkenness, often humorously quipping, "I don't drink anymore, I freeze it now and eat it like a popsicle." Number 16. Bernard Lee. Bernard Lee, with an impressive 50-year acting career and over 100 film and television credits, is best known for his portrayal of M, the head of the British Secret Service in 11 James Bond movies. Despite his successful career, Lee faced personal tragedies that led him in a downward spiral of depression and alcohol abuse. The death of his beloved wife in a house fire, a brutal mugging, and unpaid debts contributed to Lee's struggles. His addiction became so severe that during breaks from filming the Edgar Wallace television series, he was reportedly locked in his dressing room to prevent him from drinking. However, Lee found a way to indulge by hiring someone to feed a straw through the keyhole. Even Richard Burton, known for his prolific drinking, admitted he couldn't match Lee, claiming Lee once drank him under the table. Lee's excessive alcohol consumption likely led to stomach cancer, causing his death at the age of 73. Number 15. Dennis Price. Dennis Price, born into an aristocratic family, possessed good looks and charm that contributed to his success as a British actor. Rising to fame with the 1949 comedy Kind Hearts and Coronets, Price, along with contemporaries Alec Guinness and James Mason, seemed destined for international acclaim. However, his personal life took a toll, with a failing marriage, hidden homosexuality, and other unknown struggles leading to a suicide attempt in 1954. Although Price survived the attempt, he embarked on a gradual self-destructive path marked by excessive alcohol use. Despite starring in popular British comedies and military dramas, Reports from his co-stars indicated that he regularly consumed a crate of Guinness and plenty of scotch throughout the day. His addiction eroded his once suave persona and charismatic good looks. By the end of his life, Price's battle with alcohol resulted in liver cirrhosis, leading to his demise. Number 14, Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, renowned for 8 Academy Award nominations and iconic performances in films like Lawrence of Arabia, was a celebrated figure in the entertainment industry. However, his personal life was marked by a tumultuous relationship with alcohol. O'Toole's affinity for alcohol was evident early in his career. Legendary stories of his drinking sprees in Beirut during the filming of Lawrence of Arabia and being reportedly drunk throughout the production of the 1964 classic Beckett became part of his legacy. He once took a date to watch a play in Soho, only to realize he was starring in it. His drinking escapades were so extreme that he fondly recalled waking up in Corsica after going for a beer at a local pub in Paris. O'Toole claimed to have learned about John F. Kennedy's assassination 22 years after it occurred. Despite warnings about the impact of alcohol on his health, O'Toole continued his excessive drinking. He eventually quit, but the damage had been done. In his later years, his once handsome appearance had visibly deteriorated. O'Toole succumbed to the ravages of years of drinking and chain smoking, passing away in a London hospital in 2013. Number 13, Richard Burton. Richard Burton, a magnificent actor known for his dynamic style, resonant voice, and association with Elizabeth Taylor, was considered a successor to Laurence Olivier. Despite brilliant performances in films like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Burton struggled with a long-standing battle against alcohol. Burton admitted to starting drinking at the age of 12, reaching a point when he consumed 3 bottles of vodka a day during his worst periods. While filming The Klansman, he was so intoxicated that he had to take many shots sitting or lying down. Off-screen, his behavior was equally alarming, such as downing 21 shots of tequila before diving into the sea upon hearing of a reported shark sighting. In 1974, Burton nearly died from a hard liquor binge. Medical professionals had warned him in 1970 that alcohol abuse would eventually be fatal. His kidneys had grown abnormally, and an operation in the early 1980s revealed his spine covered with crystallized alcohol. Ignoring medical advice, Burton's remarkable career ended abruptly with his death in 1984 at the age of 58, as a result of the devastating effects of alcoholism. Number 12, Oliver Reed. During the late 60s and early 70s, English actor Oliver Reed was a major box office draw in Britain, known for his roles in films like The Trap, Oliver, and the Three Musketeers series. However, his off-screen persona was far from the charming characters he portrayed on camera. Reed openly admitted to not living in the world of sobriety, and his alcohol consumption was legendary. Fellow actor and producer David Hemmings attested to Reed's ability to consume massive amounts of alcohol, claiming he could drink 20 pints of lager with a gin or creme de menthe chaser and still run a mile for a wager. There were reports of him drinking 126 pints of beer in 24 hours and performing a horizontal handstand on a bar. Reed's intoxicated states were notorious for causing havoc, including instances of tomfoolery, violence, and infidelity. In one notable incident in 1980, he attended a christening in a church so drunk that he swayed back and forth while standing. Later, at a reception, he held a baby in his arms and stumbled around the room pretending to play rugby with the child. Known for exposing his tattooed penis in public, climbing a chimney naked pretending to be Santa Claus, urinating on the Australian flag, and lying drunk on an airport baggage conveyor, Reed's behavior was unpredictable and often outrageous. Tragically, Reed's excessive drinking contributed to his untimely death. While filming his final movie, Gladiator, he consumed a large amount of alcohol in a pub one night, leading to a heart attack. Reed passed away shortly after, leaving behind a life filled with fascinating and often regrettable moments. His self-proclaimed regret was not having drunk every pub dry and slept with every woman on the planet. Number 11, Robert Mitchum. Born in 1917, Robert Mitchum was a unique actor who left an indelible mark on the film industry. Known for his distinctive style and off-screen behavior, he portrayed iconic roles such as the villain Max Cady in Cape Fear, the mysterious gumshoe in Out of the Past, and the drunk sheriff in El Dorado. Mitchum's off-screen life reflected a tough and rebellious persona. He was candid about his love for alcohol, often boasting about his substantial daily consumption, 1 to 3/5 of tequila, vodka, or whiskey during a typical day, even while on set or during interviews. Despite his unconventional approach to acting, Mitchum's authenticity and tough guy demeanor resonated with audiences. A quote attributed to Mitchum encapsulates his attitude toward drinking. "I have to be able to drink because the only way to get rid of people is to outdrink them. It takes 36 hours or more sometimes. Sometimes they kiss the coffee table after 30 minutes. Mitchum's rough background and penchant for brawling, fast driving, and troublemaking contributed to his frequent encounters with the law, considering his status as a wealthy actor. His tough guy image, combined with his nonchalant approach to acting and a love for the bottle, made Robert Mitchum a Hollywood legend. Number 10. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, often hailed as the greatest singer of the 20th century, was not only a musical icon but also an Oscar-winning actor and producer. Behind the scenes, Sinatra's life was a whirlwind of 4 marriages, numerous affairs, controversial alliances, and late-night drinking escapades, most frequently involving his beloved Jack Daniel's whiskey. Married 4 times to Nancy Barbato, Ava Gardner, Mia Farrow, and Barbara Marx, Sinatra's personal life was marked by tumultuous relationships and a vast number of lovers, including Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall, Judy Garland, and Lana Turner. A constant companion throughout Sinatra's tumultuous life was Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Tennessee whiskey. Reportedly consuming a bottle of Jack Daniel's a day, Sinatra was once asked by a doctor how he felt in the morning. His response, "Hell if I know, doc. I don't get up till the afternoon." Sinatra's affinity for Jack Daniel's began in the 1940s when, seeking a serious drink, he was introduced to the whiskey by entertainer Jackie Gleason. Sinatra had found his drink of choice. In Palm Springs, he would signal cocktail hour to neighbors by hoisting a Jack Daniel's flag. During visits to England, he sported a blazer featuring a crest of 2 cross golf clubs and a bottle, labeled Jack Daniel's Country Club, exclusively given to his closest friends. Sinatra's dedication to Jack Daniel's extended to personal connections, such as his friendship with a Jack Daniel's salesman named Angelo Lucchesi. When the whiskey was in short supply in 1967, Lucchesi sent a consignment to Sinatra, earning his eternal gratitude. Known for his perfectionism, Sinatra had specific preferences for how he took his favorite drink, a 2-finger measure with 3 or 4 ice cubes plus water in a traditional rocks glass. Even at the Four Seasons in Boston, he once meticulously fished out all but 4 ice cubes from a glass of Jack Daniel's. Number 9. Marie Provost. Marie Provost, 1896 to 1937, the actress featured in this vintage reel photo postcard, had a career spanning 2 decades and appeared in 121 silent and talking movies. Discovered by Mack Sennett, she became one of his bathing beauties in the late 1910s. Provost's personal life faced challenges and decline. Her mother's death in 1926 and the dissolution of her second marriage in 1927 led to depression, marked by alcohol abuse and binge eating. In 1928, she had a brief affair with Howard Hughes during the filming of The Racket, which further deepened her emotional struggles. As obtaining film roles became difficult, Provost's last film appearance was in 1936. At the age of 38, she tragically succumbed to acute alcoholism and malnutrition. Found in her apartment 2 days after her death, Provost's estate was valued at just $300. Her untimely death played a role in prompting the establishment of the motion picture and television Country House and Hospital. Number 8. Tyrone Power. Tyrone Power, 1914 to 1958, was a prominent American film actor born on May 5, 1914 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming from a distinguished acting family, Power gained fame in the 1930s and 1940s as a leading man in Hollywood, celebrated for his handsome looks and charismatic screen presence. Some of his notable films include The Mark of Zorro in 1940, Blood and Sand, 1941, The Razor's Edge, 1946, and Witness for the Prosecution, 1957. Power showcased his versatility as an actor, seamlessly transitioning between swashbuckling adventure films, romantic dramas, and more serious roles. Power's personal life was marked by passionate and widely publicized relationships with actresses Annabella and Linda Christian. Speculation about his sexuality suggests ambiguity, a common theme for many actors of his time who navigated complex personal lives in the face of Hollywood's expectations. Although the details of Power's personal struggles aren't extensively documented, his on-screen performances, including those in The Mark of Zorro, The Black Swan, Captain from Castile and the Long Gray Line were widely appreciated. Tragically, Tyrone Power died at the age of 44. Collapsing on a movie set while filming a duel scene with George Sanders, Power, who had served as a Marine pilot in the Pacific during World War II, left behind a legacy of memorable performances. Number 7. Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin, born on February 19, 1924, and passing away on August 29, 1987, was an American actor renowned for his distinctive voice, white hair, and a career spanning over 4 decades. While anecdotes and stories abound regarding Lee Marvin's affinity for alcohol, it's crucial to recognize that information about celebrities' personal lives can be speculative and may not always be entirely accurate. Marvin himself was known for being a private individual, and details about his personal life not be fully disclosed or well documented. During Marvin's era in Hollywood, the entertainment industry had a culture that often involved socializing and drinking. Many actors, including Marvin, were part of a generation where drinking was more socially acceptable and prevalent than it is in today's Hollywood. Number 6. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner, much like many Hollywood stars of her era, was associated with a lifestyle that included socializing and, in some cases, a penchant for alcohol. Known to enjoy a drink, stories about her social life and relationships often include mentions of alcohol. However, her later years were marked by financial difficulties, loneliness, and struggles with alcohol. In January 1988, ravaged by the effects of alcohol, cigarettes, and a recent stroke, Ava Gardner reached out to British journalist Peter Evans to ghostwrite her memoirs. These memoirs, documented in Evans's book Ava Gardner, The Secret Conversations, offer insights into the extended deathbed confessions of the legendary actress. Facing financial challenges, Gardner candidly expressed her situation, stating, "I'll either write the book or sell the jewels," ultimately choosing to preserve her memoirs. Number 5. Sterling Hayden. Sterling Hayden, an American actor and author born on March 26, 1916, and passing away on May 23, 1986, had a varied career in film with notable roles in movies such as The Asphalt Jungle, 1950, The Killing, 1956, and Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, 1964. Hayden's personal life was complex, marked with struggles with alcoholism. In his 1977 autobiography, Wanderer, he openly discussed his battles with alcohol and his decision to step away from Hollywood. Feelings of disillusionment with the film industry led him to seek a more authentic and meaningful life. Additionally, his experiences during the McCarthy era and testimony before the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, are detailed in his autobiography. Finding solace in a different lifestyle, Hayden sailed around the world with his children in the early 1960s on his boat, The Wanderer, an experience that inspired his autobiography. Number 4. Orson Wells. Orson Wells, the legendary American filmmaker, actor, director, and writer, was born on May 6, 1915. Celebrated for his groundbreaking work in films such as Citizen Kane in 1941, Wells faced struggles with alcohol-related issues throughout his life. Known for his immense talent, Wells had a fondness for alcohol, and reports suggest that his consumption could be excessive. His battles with alcoholism were observed by those close to him and those he collaborated with in the film industry. Number 3. Lana Turner. Lana Turner, born Julia Jean Mildred Frances Turner on February 8, 1921, emerged as one of the most stunning actresses in the history of the silver screen, with a career spanning 5 decades. Despite her immense success in the movie industry, her personal life was marred by profound tragedies and tumultuous marriages. Raised in a working-class family in Wallace, Idaho, Lana cherished memories of the evenings filled with music, where her family would sing and dance to the records played after dinner. Her father, a coal miner facing the hardships of demanding labor and limited income, supplemented his earnings by engaging in card games. His success at the card table allowed him to provide for the family, but tragedy struck one night when he was robbed and murdered on his way home. These early experiences of loss and struggle foreshadowed Lana Turner's tumultuous personal journey. Despite achieving stardom in Hollywood, she grappled with a series of failed marriages and enduring personal tragedies. Alongside these challenges, Turner battled alcoholism and smoking, vices that contributed to the development of throat cancer, ultimately claiming her life. Number 2. Montgomery Cliff. Edward Montgomery Cliff, affectionately known as Monty, was born on October 17, 1920 in Omaha, Nebraska, a city that also gave rise to Hollywood luminaries like Fred Astaire and Marlon Brando. Coming from a lineage with English and Scottish roots, Cliff's family was believed to have a background of immense social privilege, adding an intriguing layer to his early life. His father, William Brooks Cliff, held the position of vice president at the Omaha National Trust Company, contributing to the family status. However, on his mother's side, Ethel, who was adopted, was told a narrative of her biological family being Yankee elites torn apart by the tyrannical will of her mother, leading to her adoption. The trajectory of Cliff's life took a tragic turn when, after a night of consuming too much alcohol, he fell asleep while driving, resulting in a car crash that left his face severely disfigured. This incident occurred 8 months after the death of his friend James Dean in a similar accident nearby. Cliff's body remained mostly unharmed, but the impact of the crash caused significant facial injuries. In a moment that became a part of Hollywood lore, Elizabeth Taylor, Cliff's dear friend and love rival, rushed to his aid upon learning about the collision. Taylor intervened, reaching into Cliff's mouth to clear the back of his throat, preventing him from choking on dislodged teeth. This act potentially saved his life. Following the accident, Cliff's career entered a decline, accompanied by increased alcohol abuse and the consumption of amphetamines and depressants to manage pain. His co-star Marilyn Monroe once remarked that he was the only person I know who's in worse shape than I am. Number 1. Joan Crawford. In the aftermath of Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, Joan Crawford found herself on a dark and tumultuous path. The sudden end of the film left her unemployed, necessitating a move from her home to an apartment. The departure of Mamacita, who had been a constant presence and support, further added to Joan's sense of abandonment. Struggling with the unraveling of her life, Crawford turned to a familiar companion in times of trouble: alcohol. While Joan had grappled with alcohol-related issues throughout her career, she had adeptly managed to maintain a facade, preserving her public image and avoiding public embarrassment. However, a pivotal incident at the airport marked a turning point. In a wheelchair due to undisclosed ankle injuries, Joan was ushered through a bustling airport. Despite the outward appearance of a star accommodating her fans with smiles, the toll of her struggles became evident. Even in her best efforts to perform for the crowd, Joan couldn't conceal the slurred speech and a lack of awareness that betrayed her altered state. This poignant moment, a nadir in the late star's life, serves as a focal point in the final episode of FX's 8-part exploration of Joan Crawford's notorious feud with Bette Davis. While the finale only alludes to this moment, its enduring impact is felt through archival footage available on platforms like YouTube, offering audiences a glimpse into the stark reality of Joan Crawford's decline. Those are Hollywood's top 30 stars ruined by alcohol. If you found this countdown as intriguing as we did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Also, let us know in the comments which star story surprised you the most, or if there's anyone you'd like us to cover in future videos. Until next time, stay tuned and keep watching Vintage TV.